enough. All right. Let's move on. So Bord Bia have partnered with Donnacha Ryan and Annalise Murphy to launch their Chicken Make It Your Way campaign, calling on everybody to spread their wings and experiment with new recipes and flavours with chicken. What's your favourite chicken? What chicken dish is your go-to chicken dish?
Chicken stir fry.
Yeah. What are you putting in it?
The usual stir fry mix that comes from the butchers.
Right. Not the vegetable shop?
No, the butchers.
Okay.
The pre-made ones.
Owen, are you about to reveal what your favourite chicken dish is?
Yeah, my chicken sandwich from McDonald's.
That's worse than my
Come on!
Well, it is chicken fillet roll is good. No, but like...
Chicken curry?
I'm partial to a good old stir fry.
You should look it up and start cooking.
No, I do. I cook plenty.
Oh, yeah. What chicken do you cook?
I'd be a stir fry man as well. More of a sweet and sour variety guy, though.
Chicken curry is really easy.
Yeah, I'm not a spice guy, and mild chicken curry just isn't as nice as spicy chicken curry. So you're there, and the mouth is on fire, and you're like, this is really delicious, but I just can't handle it.
All right. Waiting for us to ask him, though.
No, I'm not at all. No.
Can't show us this clip. Don't play the clip until we get yours.
What's your chicken dish?
Always look for
What's your favourite chicken dish?
Yeah.
So you roast the chicken on the Sunday, have it Sunday, Monday, and then make a chicken curry Wednesday, Thursday. It's like amazing, a full week.
How big is that chicken?
Well, big enough to feed a family of four times.
Small family or a big chicken?
You don't actually need that much for your chicken curry when you add in like
loads of veg,
sweet potato. It's good.
It sounds amazing.
But chicken wings for Super Bowl. Only time of the year chicken wings are acceptable. Super Bowl night.
What do you mean the only time of the year?
All gone in the first quarter.
They're acceptable all year round.
That's 4 hours.
They're more overrated than donuts, chicken wings.
Well, they are, unless you actually find a good way to do it. I'll give you my secret recipe later. You can always look for the Bord Bia Quality Mark when purchasing chicken so that you know that it has been produced to the highest Bord Bia quality standards, and check out bordbia.ie /qualitychicken for recipe inspiration. Here's how Eoin got on with Annalise.
Okay, so Annalise Murphy joins us in studio now. Annalise, how are things?
Great, thank you, yeah.
You're very welcome back home. I think it's due to say you were in Portugal recently.
I know, I've been living it tough down in Portugal. Kind of based ourselves down there for the winter, just sort of December to February. It's pretty cold. You can't really get proper training done here, so just been based down there. But it was pretty easy. I was sailing yesterday morning from like 9 till 12 on a flight at 2 o'clock, and I was back in the gym here at 6. So
right, okay, so
it's it's pretty easy. It's nearly like
yeah. When you say we're down there, who does that entail?
So I'm sailing this 2-person boat now, the 49er FX. So I'm down there with my crew, Katie, and then our coach Eoin. So the 3 of us just training away. It's good.
Yeah. We were chatting about some of the videos before we clicked record here, and you were saying that you kind of like to put up videos that are funnier rather than you doing actually good stuff in the boat.
Yeah, like nobody wants to see like the boring stuff where you're getting things right. You just want to see when you like nearly sort of kill yourself for like swinging around the front of the boat or falling out of the side. So I'm kind of trying to like sort of show, although maybe I actually have quite a few crashes in the boat, but it's they're kind of the funny ones.
Because I often wonder, like say if the Six Nations team, for example, this week posted a video of them training, they'd be killed because there'd be tactical information leaking out. Is that possible when you're in the boat, that somebody actually might spot something that may be at a disadvantage to you because they know that information?
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to give away what your techniques are or how you're doing things. We used to be when I was sailing the laser, pretty secretive about, not letting anyone else sort of see video and things like that. But you don't want to put out something that then people can replicate if it's good. You want to try and, at least until the Olympics are over, you want to keep it secret. But I was actually the English rugby team were training next to where I was staying in Portugal there.
Right.
And we were just cycling along and like, there's a rugby team there. And then we discovered it was the English rugby team. And then we're there like at the fence with our phones. We're trying to film it. We're like, oh, look, they're doing line-out practice. Let's try and like steal some footage and send it to someone on the Irish team.
And? Did you get it?
I don't know if it's very good. We did get some footage. But
well, there we go. Joe, if Joe Schmidt is watching, you need to send that to him straight away. And
got tactical inside information.
That's very interesting. We did see some videos that leaked from the English training camp, and they've been posted on Instagram and stuff like that. But it sounds that if you got the line out, you've actually got top-class confidential information there. Like you mentioned there that didn't want to give away anything when you were doing the laser. Like, obviously, we'll get into it in a moment, whether or not you might return to that one day. Can you tell us now what sort of stuff you didn't want your competitors to find out before previous Olympic Games, for example, when you're doing the laser?
Yeah, mainly, so there's, in sailing, you go upwind, which is when you're going into the wind, and that's more just hard work and not so much technique. But downwind, where you're surfing waves with the wind directly behind you, that's where there's a lot of technique involved, and just didn't really want any of my competitors. I was probably one of the best people downwind in the fleet, and which was something I worked on really hard between London and Rio so that I wouldn't mess it all up again. And that is something that you didn't really want your competitors to be able to study and copy what I was doing. So we were, we tried to be secretive. Like, obviously, you know, there's they can watch races online, or, you know, some coaches would be there filming, you know, sneakily filming. The sort of Chinese team would be quite good at coming out, and you know, there wouldn't be any of the Chinese sailors out, but they'd be there with video cameras, and like the other coaches used to get pretty annoyed. They'd be like, "Get off the course, stop filming."
Right.
But it's kind of, you know, a bit of like low-level espionage, I guess.
Well, it's a theme in sport at the moment, isn't it? With Leeds United and their manager getting caught spying, and the Leeds United camp spying on the Derby County team. So obviously you've experienced espionage as well. So is it mostly the Chinese team who spy on you? That
was just one situation. But I guess you're always trying to find out what your competitors are up to, and you know, sometimes you want them to know, or like, I always think that people are over either sort of exaggerating how much training they're doing, or doing the opposite, like, you know, pretending that they're not doing any training. It's generally the people that are like, oh yeah, I'm not really training that much. Yeah, they're the ones that are actually training really hard. Well, the ones that are going, oh, I'm training 10 hours a day and then doing this, you're like, they're not training 10 hours a day. Like, you need to sleep.
Sounds like a lecture hall before the leaving cert. So is there any particular people, are they in the Irish camp, the people who try to let on they're doing a little bit more, a little bit less than they really are?
It depends. I'd probably be one to sometimes let on that I'm doing less than I actually am.
Right, okay.
It depends. Other than sometimes when I actually am doing a lot of training, complain about how much training I'm doing. Like, I'm so tired.
I do want to chat to you about the change, as I said there, from laser radial, because chances are that when it comes to Tokyo, and I know it's a big year when it comes to qualification, it's going to be the 49er FX. So explain to us what the 49er FX is and the difference between that and the laser radial.
So first of all, it's a two-person boat. So I'm sailing with, I've got a teammate, Katie, which is great. Like, you know, that I'm not on my own anymore, that I have someone else to help motivate me to go training is brilliant. It's much faster than the laser, and it's much more difficult to sail than the laser. The laser is very difficult to sail it very well, but you could also put a complete beginner out in a laser and they'd be completely fine.
Okay.
Well, my first day out in the 49er, I couldn't stand up. I kept on falling over and capsizing. It's a very difficult boat to sail, and there's not many people that are able to sail it very well. So basically, for the last 7 months, been sailing nearly every day to try and kind of up my skill level in the boat. I'm kind of at a stage now where I go, okay, I'm actually able to sail the boat now. I didn't think it was going to take this long, but that's kind of been... It's been a big challenge, but it's also been really fun, like learning every day, because in the laser, a lot of the time I was actually trying to get back to something that I'd been very good at, but had, you know, forgotten how to do because I'd then been working on something else.
Sure.
And a lot of the time in the laser, I was actually just working on my sort of mental game rather than the actual, you know, I was very good at sailing the boat technically, but I mentally was let down a lot by just, you know, getting nervous before competitions, or, you know, just basically messing it all up. So that was like my big focus. Well, at the moment in the 49er, it's just about learning to sail the boat really well and be really good technically in the boat. And then hopefully all of my sort of laser sailing tactics and strategy I can use to good effect once I've mastered racing the boat.
That's really interesting. There's a lot there. Why did you change?
I was kind of a little bit burnt out and tired, and I found it hard sailing by myself all the time. Like, there was so much, you know, it was just me by myself, and if I messed up at the end of the day, it was my fault. And, you know, like I'd go training by myself the entire time, and I'd sailed the boat for 10 years, and I'd kind of achieved my lifelong dream, that, you know, something that I never thought I'd win an Olympic medal. I dreamt about winning an Olympic medal, but I never thought it would actually happen for me. And I was like, well, it's not going to happen to me. Like, I'm just Annalise sailing a laser. And then, you know, when I actually did manage to make it happen, I was sort of satisfied. I was like, oh, I've done it.
Now what?
And then I was like, I need a new challenge, something that's going to, you know, push me again to, like, you know, all the things that I had to overcome to win a medal in the laser that I managed to do. I want to try and now overcome loads of hurdles again in this boat. But yeah, it's a big challenge.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. And it seems that it's a whole new mental aspect as well, having somebody there beside you, because it's great to have a teammate sometimes to rely on and will help you out. But there's also downsides to that as well. There's somebody else to blame, and sometimes athletes prefer to have themselves to blame and be in control of everything. How are you finding that?
Yeah, it's something that I'm learning a lot about myself. I didn't realise that I'm actually quite selfish and very controlling. And I didn't realise this because I was always by myself. And now I've got, you know, someone else, you know, in my team that's, you know, an equal part of the team as I am. And I have to realise that, you know, I can't just do everything myself. And even if I can do everything myself, I still have to ask Katie, you know, would you help me with this? You know, because then she feels like she's included in the process. Well, before it wouldn't even occur to me. I'm like, well, I'll just do it because I can. And it's so those kinds of things. And yeah, realising, you know, there's other people in the world apart from yourself, which is when you're in kind of, you know, high level individual sport, everything does become about you a bit. And you know, but then I realised, I'm like, oh, am I a really horrible person actually? Because I was just like, you know, without realising it, I'd always kind of bring the conversation back to myself and my training rather than what other people are up to. And it's like, yeah, sort of, well, I've since started sailing with Katie, I've realised actually there are other people in the world, and there's other people to be worried about. And so, like, I'm really enjoying it. Like, it's a big challenge, you know. So
you started to think more about other people than at any other point, really, in your sailing career. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think so.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like, obviously to be as successful as you have been, you have to have that level of selfishness. I don't think anybody can be, but I'd suspect if you asked many people in team sports how selfish they are, I'd say they would say they're pretty selfish as well, because you've got to look after yourself, you've got to focus on your own goals, and ultimately working with a teammate is making yourself successful as well. So I guess you kind of need that still, that selfishness.
I've probably just moved like one level up, you know, like I'm now like gone from being just like completely selfish to a tiny bit less.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, one of the first things you mentioned there was the idea of nerves with regards to the laser radial, because it seems to me that from your perspective it's a rather simple technical race from the expertise you've built up, whereas this, your mental space is in a very different position. And I guess there's kind of a psychoanalysis to be done here, but do you feel that you'll be able to perform better at an elite level, say if you got to Tokyo, because you're thinking about what you're actually doing rather than thinking about how you can actually mess up? Is that something that may arrive and actually help you in the long run? I'm
hoping that well, first of all, because I'm having so much fun sailing the boat, it's really fun to sail. The laser isn't that much fun to sail, so I'm hoping that alone, you know, just the enjoyment that you get out of racing it. And that's what a lot of competitors will be saying in the 40. They say even a bad day in a 49er is still a fun day sailing. Sure. Well, a bad day in a laser was not a fun day sailing. But I'm kind of hoping by the time we get around to Tokyo that we'll be in such a good place, you know, technically in the boat, that it will actually be just about, you know, the strategy, racing the boat well, and also, you know, sort of having two brains is better than one, that all the decisions won't just be on me, it'll be Katie will be able to help me make those decisions on the race course. And it's, yeah, I don't know, it's probably still going to be, you know, when we get to that point, it's like there's going to be pressure and stress, but it wouldn't be the Olympics or high performance without it, would it? And I guess that's what I wanted to ask you as well. How are we looking from an Irish fleet perspective in terms of qualification for Tokyo? I know obviously we had Aarhus last year, which from what I could gather was good for the development of the future of Irish sailing rather than actually nailing down Olympic spots. Yeah, we haven't qualified anyone yet for the Olympics in sailing, which is we've always done quite well at qualifying people in the first round of qualification in sailing. So there's sort of a big step up for some of the younger athletes coming through to, you know, get that qualification standard, and well, for Katie and myself in the 49er to qualify. But it is exciting as well because it's a really young generation of athletes. Like, you know, when I was in London, they were only kids, and now they're coming through and they're trying to get to the Olympics. So, you know, hopefully they're all going to qualify and then, you know, get to Tokyo, get, you know, really good Olympic experience, and then by 2024 be medal contenders. That would be kind of, you know, sort of that would be the dream for Irish sailing, I think, anyway.
Sure. And when do you know yourself whether or not Tokyo's definitely going to happen?
Well, I have to try and qualify in New Zealand in December.
December, right.
And that's hopefully we'll nail down qualification there, and then we can just focus on Tokyo. But if for some reason we didn't, we'd have another opportunity in April 2020 to qualify. That'd be a bit stressful because there's not much time between then and the Olympics. But we're just hoping everything will, you know, smooth sailing, you know, through qualification and get that done, and then, you know, sort of look at, you know, what we have to do to be at the best sort of shape in Tokyo.
Good stuff. Well, best luck for the year ahead. It sounds like it's exciting times and challenging times. Annalise Murphy, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.